I kind of forgot what my intro sounded like, but hello and welcome. My name is Ansu. If you're new here, consider subscribing down below. I had like a full video filmed which had basically a quarterly stats thing going on. I hated that video. This happens way too often with me, especially when I go into editing. I find these videos and I'm just like, this is not good. Trash it. And then I obviously don't have anything filmed and I don't love editing, especially the time it takes to edit. I don't mind it. It's fun sometimes, but it gets very daunting at times with the amount of editing that I have to do, especially with me not being able to coherently say a sentence. So it takes a bit of time. Anyway, today I wanted to just sit and chat with you guys about the books that I want to read in the month of May. If you didn't know, May, by the end of May at least, is going to be very, very hectic for me. So I really doubt that I'm going to be able to read that much. But I have a plan to read a few books and I'm going to talk about a few of them. And if you see my hand and it's red, ignore it. I had filmed a dance cover and I painted my hands red for it because it's like an Indian classical thing that I wanted to do. If you don't follow me on my dance channel, you should. I'm pretty great, if I say so myself. Anyway, I'll stop being annoying. These are the books that I want to read in May. So I'm going to start off this one with a book that I was supposed to read in April, but I kind of finished it in May. So technically I'm going to include it in here like as a book that I should read in May, because why not? It's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This one is very, very hyped up on booktube, on book talk, everywhere. You can find this book talked about so much. It is a beautiful book. Personally didn't love it. Essentially it's following around these two main characters who met when they were children in a hospital, and they kind of strike this friendship through playing games together, and then they grow up. It's following them through their 30s and they're just developing this game, and it's supposed to be really good. And I read a majority of this book back in April and I actually finished this in May. Like the last 40 pages I physically read. The last 40 pages I physically read, and the rest of it I had listened to on audiobook. I don't really recommend the audiobook too much because I don't know why, but I was not getting too much into it. Maybe if I read this physically I would have enjoyed it a little bit more, but I personally did not. And this one has a lot of like sexual assault, mental abuse, misuse of like power dynamics, and I was just not loving all of those little things in here. Really wanted to love it, but I personally didn't. I think I gave this like 2 or 3 stars. This is not a wrap up, so I'm just gonna wrap this up, but yeah, this is supposed to be on my TBR. I did finish this anyway. But anyway, and the next one I want to talk about is The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. If you didn't know, this author did write The City of Brass in that series. I really did enjoy that. It was really, really good. But this one follows around Amina al-Sirafi, who is a woman. I think she's in her 50s and she's a pirate. Now Amina has completely quit being a pirate. She's living a peaceful life with her daughter, and she just wants to live like that happily and peacefully. However, she gets this new task to save the daughter of one of her older crew members, and this lady comes up and talks her into it, offering her millions of dollars essentially. And so she goes on one more adventure. Amina has faced a ton of things in her life, a lot of people underestimating her because she's a woman and she's a pirate, and everyone's just like, no, you know, you're not gonna be good enough. But she's fantastic. She's dealt with demons, literally. She's had 6 or 7 husbands. How many husbands? How many husbands have you had? I cannot remember, but apparently she had a lot of husbands. Probably not 7. I was probably thinking about Ellen Hugo, but anyway, she had a ton of husbands. She has literally been married to a freaking demon, so she has been through it all completely. But this adventure kind of leads into a lot more than she anticipated, and it's getting very, very risky. I have finished quite a bit of this book and I've been listening to it on audio. It's been a very, very slow progress. Unfortunately, I haven't been listening to audio that much because I've been stressing too much. So yeah, I haven't been reading as much as I would have liked to, but this is a very good book so far. I've been really enjoying it. It also has a Muslim main character, and if you are Muslim and you're looking for something like that, you might enjoy this. I really want to finish this one. This one is the Moral Instruments 4th graphic novel. I was like into reading the graphic novels, if you remember from my March video, I think, and I was really, really into it. So I had been reading so much, and then I completely stopped reading it. I do have a one more book I think from the series, so I do want to finish reading the rest of it, but I haven't gotten around to it. Obviously, if you haven't heard about this one follows around the Shadowhunter realm from the Mortal Instruments, and it's just in graphic novel format, and that's it. There's literally nothing new with this, but other than like the pictures, that's it. Yeah, I was having a good time reading it though, so it was nice to like remember these old memories of me reading it with a couple of friends of mine, and it was a very sweet, nostalgic moment, and I really enjoyed it. But I do want to continue with this and finish it. The next one, The Love Major by Lynn Painter. If you didn't know, I'm obsessed with Lynn Painter, and I haven't been reading any of her books recently. I have 2 more books that I should be finishing, one of them being this one, and I've already started it. I've finished like 2 chapters, and I was enjoying it, but I was physically reading it, so I just kind of felt like I didn't want to read it anymore. That has been happening way too much, so yeah, I do want to get into this. This one is the second book in a series. I think it's a 2-part series. Anyway, this follows around 2 people. We have Hailey Piper. I have talked about this extensively on my channel already, but we have Hailey Piper. Her whole life is turned upside down. She is at rock bottom. She ends up actually sleeping with one of the groomsmen from one of the weddings that she was a part of, and she is literally sneaking out of the hotel room that they were staying in, and she's like, you know what, my life is a mess, I have to fix this. She leaves and she's ready to get her life together, and she goes on this dating app, and lo and behold, the first person that she matches up with is this guy that she had just hooked up with. Jack and Hailey kind of text each other, and they kind of get this friendship going on, but they decide that they're not good matches for each other, so they move on in that way, but they go on separate dates and then just try to like have a good time with their actual dates, but most of the time it ends up in disaster, and Jack and Hailey kind of end up just going to eat somewhere, just call it a night. They've been really good friends, but one day they have to go to this wedding, and I think they're going together, but for some reason they cannot remember why they're not a good match, and romance ensues. I love it. So of course I'm like super into this. I really want to know what's going on with these 2 characters, because I think it can be very, very cutesy, and I am living for it. So I know Lynn Painter is not going to disappoint me. Really, really into this. I'm really looking forward to getting to this, and I hope to read this very, very soon. 2 graphic novels that I was very, very highly anticipating to getting from the library. One of them being Lore Olympus Volume 3. I have talked about the first 2 volumes in a couple of my previous videos, but it basically is a Greek mythology retelling, I guess, following around Hades and Persephone and their story, and the graphics in here is so good. If you have not read this series, I would highly recommend you guys to check this out, because the artwork is phenomenal. Even if you don't care about the story, the artwork is to live for. Absolutely love it. It's just really funny, and it tells a very good story. Really good time reading the first 2 volumes, and I finally got my hands on the 3rd one. This is due in a couple of days, and I need to read this soon, otherwise I might go back on the waiting list, and I don't want that to happen. So yeah, this one I just need to get to, and this is the 3rd volume. The last one that I'm going to talk about has been I think the most anticipated graphic novel that I wanted to get for a really long time, and I finally got my hands on it, and that is Saga Volume 10. I have read the first 9 volumes, I think a couple of years back at this point, and maybe it was last year. I don't even know. This one I finally got. I don't know if there's like another volume yet or not, but I just need to finish this one. This basically follows around these 2 characters who are from differing planets, and their planets have been really fighting with each other. They're ready to destroy each other. One of them was actually the other's prisoner, and they end up falling in love and escaping together, getting married. They have a kid who's basically like half-blood, I guess. And these 2 planets peopled are basically hunting these 2 characters and the baby to kill them, and it's just that hunt that's going on, them trying to escape people from their own planet so that they can be safe essentially, and it's just very intense. It has some humor. It is very, very adult with a bunch of sex scenes, a bunch of nude scenes. If you're not into that, don't get into this, because I did not see that coming at all when people were talking about this book. So definitely keep an eye out for, there's a lot of sexual content in here, and also just like violence, gruesomeness, everything that you can possibly imagine. Because honestly, at all times, every single page that you turn, it is very NSFW, so be very careful. But yeah, I had a good time reading the first 9 volumes, and I just can't wait to get to this one. Those are the books that I want to get to in the month of May. It's not a huge list, especially because there are a few graphic novels in here. So I'm very hopeful. There are a couple of arcs that I probably need to get to, and one of them I know for sure is an audiobook and the others are ebooks. I don't know if I can get to those, but I'll try my best this month to achieve those goals. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Ansu. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified every single time I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time with another one. Until then, I'll talk to you all in the comments. Bye!